Very good morning and welcome you all for the webinar on design and fabrication of supercapacitors as the next generation energy storage device for electric vehicles. I extend a warm welcome to our speaker, Dr. Mani Karthik, Senior Scientist, Center for Nanomaterials, International Advanced Research Center for Powder Metallurgy and New Materials, RK, Hyderabad. Before we proceed for the presentation, I have a brief profile to be presented of our speaker. Dr. Mani Karthik has a professional experience of 20 years. To his credits, he has filed 8 patents. He has published more than 50 journal publications and 2 book chapters. He has chaired more than 35 conferences and seminars. He is a member of 5 editorial boards. A brief biography of our speaker. Currently, he is working as a scientist E in Center for Nanomaterials, RK Hyderabad. He has also worked at different organizations located in South Korea, Taiwan, Italy, and Spain. He has received several research fellowships from University of Torino, Italy, National Science Council, Taiwan, KAIST, South Korea, UGC, India, DAE, BRNS, India. Indian Embassy in South Korea has selected him as one of the best Indian scientists for scientific interaction with late Honorable Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India, during President visit at Seoul, South Korea. He has received an award of Best Scientist in Supercapacitors 2019, awarded by Rula Award, powered by World Research Council and United Medical Council. His research area of specialization include material science and nanotechnology, porous carbon materials, catalyst, photocatalyst, fine chemical synthesis, air quality management and pollution control, solar energy harvesting, energy conservation and storage, batteries and supercapacitors. His papers are frequently cited at the cover page of the journal. He has served as a guest editorial at Materials Focus. He has delivered several invited talks and presented research papers in several national and international conferences. So before we proceed to the presentation, I have a brief short instructions for the participants. I request all the participants to kindly post your questions in the chat box, which is in the bottom of your screen. And at the end of the webinar, we'll be having a feedback session for which the link will be shared in the same chat box, using which you can submit the feedback and get a participation certificate. Now it's over to our speaker, Dr. Mani Karthik, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Dinagar. And first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Karthikeyan for giving the very nice opportunity to share our, our thoughts. And actually, this is not only whatever I am carrying out this person research. It's totally in our group also. Little bit I am sharing the RC activities. So you can go for. I can start. Screen share.
Yes, sir. We can start, sir.
I can share the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Visible.
Yes, visible. Yes. Please go for presentation mode. Yes,
yeah.
Sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes, visible.
Yes, good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Welcome to all and all the participants. Thanks for coming and participate this very nice, webinar. And actually, this topic is very interesting. I hope this topic is very interesting. And SRM is really actively working on particularly electrical vehicles more than 5 years. Am I right? More than 5 years. And thanks for inviting Dr. Karthikeyan, head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Thanks for your kind words and arranging the talk. This is I am very happy to share our, the presentation and our work. So actually, the title of the presentation is the design and fabrication of supercapacitor. We generally call the supercapacitor the next generation energy storage device because of the prematurity of the level of the device. So that's why we call next generation energy storage device for electrical vehicles. The main presentation is focused on material design to prototype device demonstration. Because most of the laboratory in India, people are really working in lab level and they're producing materials. But the prototype device level is really lagging. That's the where we are lacking and what the RCA is really focusing on that. That is the major this topic in the presentation is focused on. I think already Dr. Dinagar has introduced me. I am from RCA. The main this I close or?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Yeah. So, as I said, the main topic is material to device. So, material development to the device demonstration, so-called technology. Because if you're talking about the technology, not only the research R&D level in only focus on material. We need to make the device. Once if we make the device only, we call it, this is the technology. So just I would like to introduce briefly our center. It's International Advanced Center for Powder Metallurgy New Materials. It is located in Hyderabad. It is Telangana state. This is our center. Actually, what we are mainly focusing on, you see that different areas, the thrust areas, which is surface engineering, ceramics, laser processing, alternative energy, nanomaterials, and automotive energy materials. That I am working in the Center for Nanomaterials as a material scientist. I am chemist, so I am last 20 years. I am only focusing on the materials, various different type of applications. Here, only focusing on the energy application, particularly the supercapacitor. So, nanomaterials mainly focus on nanostructured material, carbon materials, nanocomposites, coatings, and all. So, what is our main motive of RCA is technology development, technology demonstration, technology transfer. This is our main core motivation and objective of the RCA. See, already RCA is developed so many products and it's already have a lot of patents and so many products are now commercialized. So our main goal is innovation to be commercialization. We can see the RCA, some of the, a few examples, the best example is the nanomaterials for antibacterial and self-cleaning textile. This is well developed by our scientists. And for this development, actually, our Associate Director, Dr. Datta Narasimha Rao, already received the prestigious Technology Commercializations Award from our previous President of India. So this is really very good technology. Now it is commercialized, it is available in the market. Apart from that, we can see all the different energy sectors and also coatings, lasers. So many products are developed by our colleagues in RCA with the different departments. So from the slides, you can understand the RCA is not only developing the material side, it's really promoting real demonstration in the device level. So that is the, as I said, technology demonstration, technology transfer, and the technology development. So this is our, because I am coming from Center for Nanomaterials. This is the our building. You can see the associate by Associate Director, Dr. Datta Narasimha Rao, and our team leader, Dr. R. Vijay, and all the senior and the junior scientists, and also the PhD students and the technical officers are there. Now I am coming to the real topics, why we need to work for the electrical vehicles and electrical mobility. So you see the National Electrical Mobility Mission Plan in 2020. This is the plan is launched by Government of India. The Government of India has launched the National Electrical Mobility Plan 2020 in 9th June 2013, 7 years before, in order to promote the electrical mobility inside the India. So what is the ambitious target? I am talking about this target 7 years before. Ambitious target to achieve 6 to 7 million units of new hybrid and electrical vehicles. This is launched in India. If suppose it is expected to save, suppose if launched, is expected to save 9,500 million liters of crude oil. It is equal to rupees 62,000 crores of saving for our nation. So it's a huge money saving for this if this plan is implemented in India. So not only that, not only saving the money, the very important is adverse, mitigate adverse environmental impact from road transport. That is the main task of the electrical mobility implementation in order to reduce the air pollution. So I will show you what are the adverse effects of air pollution in India. You see, in Hindu articles in RLS similar to last year, it is highlighted that the 15th of the 20 most polluted cities in the world are coming from India. So you see, 20 most polluted, 15 cities from India. You can see the left hand side, because of the transportation, so many pollutants and so many, because of the maintenance, not properly maintenance of the vehicles, we are getting lot of pollutants. So that's the reasons for the shift to clean mobility. So the government of India, we are pushing this technology to implement it in India. That's why the talk is going to be focused on. It's not easy. Anyway, you see what are the difficulties and what are the challenges ahead in government of India. See, if we talk about the pollution not only creates the transportation. You can see the left-hand side. There's a lot of sources of pollutants is there. For example, industry. Industry is one of the major pollutants as per this graph. 52% is coming from industry. Then next sector is transportation is 27%. But what is the industry pollutants always stationary, because industry is located outside the cities. It is in the constant place. The pollution is created in particular places. But transport is not like that, because it's the mobility sources. You are spreading the pollutants all over the cities, all over the village, all over the countries. That's why you can see the left-hand side, how the pollutants are. So it is affected by children, young people, old people, everybody affected. So that's the reason we should go for electrical. Future is electrical vehicles, because India is a highly populated country. If you 10 years before, you see the number of the cars are very less. But now, see 2020, number of cars are really enormously increased. If you see the 2030, so you think about that growth of the economic growth of the nation and also the development of the cars in India. So you think about how many pollutants are created by the transportation. So that's the reason we are working on that. The government is working. As a researcher, as a scientist, we are working to mitigate this kind of pollution. So if you see the electrical vehicles, 100% electrical vehicles mobility by 2032. You see, my previous slide I said, the National Electrical Mobility Plan is started in 2013. The goal is 2020. We already are in 2020, but still we have a lot of problems. I will show the next, following slides. What are the major obstacles to implement this technology into inside the India? You see, the 100% electrical vehicle mobility by 2032. Still, we need to face 12 years. We are looking forward. India is really prepared for it. This is a big question, not only for government of India, also for the researchers who are really involving in these sectors. So this is a question, then we need to find the answer. So how to promote the electrical mobility in India? So Niti Aayog is a National Institute for Transforming India. It's created by government of India. It's collaborating with the four different sectors, 4 different ministries. The Department of India, Government of India is a Ministry of Power, the Department of Heavy Industry, then Ministry on the Road and the Transport and Highways, Ministry of Urban Development. So these four different sectors, you can see in the bottom, there is an individual role on that. One is the infrastructure development, and one is the space for the electrical vehicles implementation, and another one is the grid connectivity to charging station. Another one is to introduce the policy. So Niti Aayog mainly introducing the policy makers, bring all stockholders together, responsible for the preparing budget estimation to promote electrical vehicles and capacity building. So this is Niti Aayog is coordinating and do 4 different sectors of the ministries, and they try to implement this technology inside India, in our nation. So what are the biggest barrier to EV adaptation in India? There is a lot of articles discussing. I'm just few consolidate, and I would like to provide for the students and who are interested in the field. The vehicles battery prices. So vehicle price and battery prices is really one of the barrier. EV charging infrastructure. This is one of the biggest infrastructure. If I am buying the EV electrical vehicle, where I need to charge, because I need to frequently charging the EV wherever I want. So that's why EV infrastructure is required. Lack of vehicle model, because very particular models are only released, so lack of vehicle models. Lack of policy support. There is no very good policy makers and policy for the electric vehicles. Consumer education. Consumer education means it's very less percentage, but this is required, because why we need to go for electrical vehicles? Why I need to buy the electrical vehicles? Even though it is expensive. So this kind of consumer education is required. So next one, the best way to grow electrical vehicle manufacturing in India is how to best way to grow. Consumer to purchase subsidies we need to give. The government is already, as per the famed fast adaptation and manufacturing of the electric vehicles, is giving the government of India is initiating the subsidies for the automobile makers. They will give the some subsidies to the buyer. then we can promote this kind of electrical vehicles implemented in India. Promoting domestic battery manufacturing is another thing, because we need to use electrical vehicles. For example, that EV makers, they want to electrical vehicles manufacturing, they need batteries. So who's going to be manufacturing the battery in domestic in India, within India? That's another question. The investment in public charging infrastructure. As I said, the government also to put the to money to make the charging infrastructure. Also, some of the Reliance, so many private sectors are also, they come forward to build anyway the HP petrol pump or the Indian gas oils or whatever the petrol pump, they need to put the charging station. Then only they will, they will come to this kind of need to grow. And also the mandate target for the automakers. For example, automakers, the number of units when increase, the price will fall down. So the consumers, with less price, the consumer, they will easily buy the electric vehicle. So these are the way to grow. But there is a lot of challenges faced by the electric vehicles. These are the challenges you can see. The 5 challenges, major challenges. One is Tesla. Tesla is the largest producer of electrical vehicles in US. And you see from the, anyway, every day they are promoting, they are using so many technologies, so many battery chemistry to increase the mileage. Particularly 200 to 300 mileage means it's like miles means it's almost 300 to 400 kilometers. If you see, everyone, if you buy the electrical vehicle, they will see how much kilometers I can drive. That is the one barrier. Another thing, you need to charge your battery. Generally the battery will charge for 4 to 8 hours, generally full charging. Even though 80% of the charged battery, you can need to wait for 30 minutes. So you need to have the patient and you have the charging, you need to wait for the charge of the battery, then only you can take your car. The next, another sector is money. So money is the major problem, because everyone, if you buy anything, they need to consider the money. It's a cost effective. So generally they will see the money is involving only battery, also cost, and another thing is the vehicle itself is a cost. So they will consider that, and also battery. So generally, if you use the cars, generally the battery manufacturer as well as the car manufacturer, they will consider the overall volume of the battery. The battery is very small size, it's compact, it's volumetric energy density. Then because this battery pack volumetric energy density is proportional to the distance travel. So that's why we need to, it's a compact battery is always advisable, a benefit. So another thing, the lack of availability charging infrastructure, this is the major obstacles to implement in electrical vehicles in India, because there is no charging infrastructure. Then we need to implement the charging infrastructure, either government side, and we need to make the policy, then only this will implement it in India. So this is the major obstacles. See, I'm talking about so many things. You see, well, several obstacles are there. Still, we should appreciate the electrical vehicle industry in India. You see, lot of already people are really spending money in Mahindra, Toyota, BMW. We are really associated with Tulikal Electro India Limited, is located in Hyderabad, Ampere in Hyderabad, sorry, in Coimbatore. Tulikal and Ampere is Coimbatore. So you can see the different sectors: full electric cars, hybrid cars, motorcycles, and scooters, as well as the bicycles. So this is the, even though a lot of obstacles are there, still the industry, they want to invest in, they develop the this electric vehicles in India. That's a very appreciated, and it should be a very good motivation. You see the, just I want to show this slide. From the slide, you can see the evaluation of the EV from 2001 to 2020. See, already we are 20 years. See, Mahindra was first introduced in 2001, but you can see that 2001 to 2013, it's really more than 12 years gap is there. But I will, next slide, you will see what is the problem. Reva and Mahindra, you can see that then slowly after 2013, slowly there is evaluation up to 2020. There is lot of cars manufacturers, they are producing in Hyundai, Mahindra, electric vehicle investors. And 2016 onwards, you can see the Ashok Leyland, the first bus is called Circuit. They are released, and you can see that. Then after that, there is lot of buses are released in India. As I said, this is a very good scenario, but the rate of the growth, if you see the 2001 to 2020, it's very less. So that is what is the major problem I will explain in following slides. Say 2005 to 2015, it's already 10 years period of the huge setback in industry. What is the problem? You can see 2000, for example, 2001, 2005, this period, most of the traders just sold and forgot about the electric two-wheelers due to poor battery quality and lack of services and maintenance center. The customer care, customer service is not properly available. There is no policy. Then whatever, so many people, they bought the two-wheeler, they are facing a lot of problem to maintenance itself. and customer care. If any service I want, lack of services. So that's the reason this electrical mobility is not really there. Government initiated, the industry is initiated, but really implemented in the people is problem. You can see the 2005 to 2006, 6 to 7. 6 to 7 also you see reliable maintenance and such. 18 to 12, there is a government also giving some subsidies, but subsidies is having not properly implemented. There is a poor documents and poor funded, so that's not properly implemented. 2012 to 2014, what happened? You can see here, I would like to mention, industry generally went to see 1,10,000 electrical two-wheelers already sells in per year. But because of the subsidies and all, but suddenly what happened in 2012 to 2014, the petrol and diesel prices completely reduced. So what happened? All the people are mentality, we go for really because petrol diesel is price is less. So traditional people are going for traditional vehicles. That's the reason you see 1,10,000 to 20,000 per year during the period is reduced drastically. So this is survey is telling. Then 2015 onwards, the government of India is initiating the National Electrical Mobility Mission Plan. As I said, 2013 to 2015 initiated and implemented. There is a vision 2020. We need to make this kind of numbers of vehicles. That is the initiation. It is under the program of FAME. That is the fast adaptation and manufacturing electrical vehicles. FAME is in charge for India. They will give the policies and they are giving the subsidies to the developers. So as I said, the first Indian car, even the Mahindra 2001, they started, but real production unit is come from 2010. So it's a huge gap. This car is very good. See, even it's almost a competitive price to our IC engines, like our petrol or diesel engine, 5 to 6 lakhs. It's affordable. It is manufactured lithium-ion batteries as well as acid batteries. But what is the problem? This car is not successful, not that much successful in India due to charging infrastructure and road base. Because our Indian roads are not made for our electrical cars. You know that any natural disasters or any rainy season, our road is damaged. So this kind of cars are generally when going this kind of roads, the problem to stuck in this traffic and it have the problem for the battery and the battery get down very faster. So that is the reason this is a really good initiative for the Mahindra, but implementation is the problem in India. So the same aspect, the buses is released. I can tell this buses is really successful in India now. Even the October 2016, Ashok Leyland is implemented in circuits, so-called. It's inaugurated by our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. You see that the buses a little bit successful. Why I'm telling, you see, particularly in TSRTC, it means the Telangana State Transport Corporation. They're really releasing their aim is 100 buses they need to release, but first phases already 40 buses released. So bus generally point-to-point service. For example, this Telangana government released the buses is city to airport, airport to city. So charging stations, whether they will, some charging station they charge, they go back to the airport, then again charging. So the point-to-point service, there is no problem electrical vehicle, we can easily implement that. Also, Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam, everyone knows this. Generally, Tirumala to Tirupati, there is a trip, then electrical vehicle. So this is the point-to-point service. They will charge one place, again go another place. They get out the passenger, again charging, again coming back. But this is a very good symptom, but here also have some drawbacks. For example, TSRTC, when running the bus in the city, for example, it was happening nearby our RCI center in Bolapur. Sometimes it's the rainy season, the road is completely damaged. Sometimes this bus is stuck on this, the damaged road, then completely battery drained, the bus will completely switch off. Then we need to have, this bus is creating the traffic jam, and it's a very big problem for the people. So this kind of situation is there. That's the reason people are really afraid to enter into the electric vehicles. But anyway, this is the government policy. The road and the charging station implemented. Definitely, this is a very good technology in future. Now, the another sector is auto. You know that auto is India is the largest, the consumers of auto, because India is the developing countries. It's not possible to affordable to everyone go by taxis or cars, their own cars. They took the auto. Auto is a very good transportation in India. So, but another thing, because of the maintenance of this, auto also creating a lot of pollutions. So that is the sector. So many people are really invested in auto, is electrical vehicles. So it's easy and also it's convenient. You can see the e-rides. Also, we recently purchased the electrical auto from e-rides. It's Hyderabad-based company. RR Motors, Bahuguna, Sri Roms, Teja Motors, and you see these are the Hyderabad-based companies. Settle Corp India, private limited in Chennai, Trinity Green in Pune, Skyride in the, for example, New Delhi. So these are the auto manufacturing, e-auto, electrical auto rickshaw or auto manufacturers. You see the growth rate 2016 is already 384,000. 384,000 means already 3,84,000 units are sold, and now it's promoted is the GRD, is a compound annual growth rate is 15.9% is very good. 2019 to 2024, the growth rate is 3 times increase. It means 935 means 9,00,000 units is going to be predicted. So this is a very good scenario in the auto sectors. Then you see, I said the charging station is one of the big issues, but you see the India largest EV charging, 300 electrical three-wheelers, at a time you can charge located in Dwarka, New Delhi. So you can see, but this kind of charge only available in New Delhi. So this kind of charging station should be implemented in every cities. Then only that buyer, they can buy the auto, and the industry people can produce the auto. Then the consumer, they can use the autos. So charging station infrastructure is not that much developed in India. That's a problem. So anyway, our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, already implemented 5,100 auto rickshaws are different schemes they are distributed in India, particularly the program in Noida. I am giving some of the some of the numbers. You see, in 2019, the cars 3,900 pieces are sold. 1,26,000 for the two-wheelers. As I said, the auto is the real fascinating now. Is really high moving pieces in India. It's almost 6,30,000 are already sold. So total price, if is total number is 7,59,600 pieces is sold. If you see the compared to the financial year 17 to 18 to 18 to 19, it is, we are happy, but the number is increased. But three-wheelers is not that much increased because it's 5 lakhs to 6 lakhs. But four-wheelers is already almost double time, 1,200 to 3,600. So this is the thing. So yes, I said is these are things. The numbers is increasing every year. Is promoting, because even though we have a lot of problems, then they because of the National Electrical Mobility Plan frame, they are really initiating to develop this technology. Here, now the main topic I am coming, what researchers and what are the other problems are there. The indigenous development, because these kind of so many problems, because battery cost is very expensive, all the chargers is, we need to make the charging station and all. So the indigenous development is very important for nation. So generally, the indigenous development is the national development. It means we need to develop our own product, own technology. Then only we can give the affordable price to the India. That's the indigenous development is very important. That's the indigenous development Make in India initiative. What is telling, the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, launched the Make in India initiative on September 25, 2014, with the primary goal of making India a global manufacturing hub by encouraging both multinational as well as domestic companies to manufacturing the products within the country. That is the Make in India scheme. So this is a very important for our every citizen. All the young students should keep in mind the indigenous development is the national development. So here, so RCA is really, we are working in the DST Center, Department of Science and Technology. So DST is a program, the Boosting Make in India initiative. There is a lot of initiatives there. One of the major initiatives is the 5 technical research centers for technology and product development is one of the initiatives. What is the technical research center? What is the motivation of the technical research center? It is the technology developers, product developments to make the technology and product, to transfer the technology product to the Indian industry. That is a major initiative. That is under come to the indigenous development initiation Make in India program. So technical research center program, TR, so-called TRC, we are working there in the project. This is already 5 important centers selected in India, all over India. The 5 among centers is Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology in Trivandrum, International Advanced Center for Powder Metallurgy and New Materials, this is ARCA, our center, Jawaharlal Nehru Institute Center for Advanced Scientific Research in Bangalore, Indian Association of Cultivation of Sciences in Kolkata, B.N. Bose National Center for Basic Science in Kolkata. This is 5 centers mainly funded this. Every center is funded in 100 crores. So it's a really huge money, and the main 100 crores investment is based on to develop the technology and develop the technology to transfer the technology to Indian industry. This is the vision of this. So what ARC is really doing, ARC initiated R&D following the broad areas. See, energy, now energy is really main sectors, the energy and the renewable energy. Renewable energy means we are getting the energy from sun or solar or wind and all the renewable energy. So we need to, generally ARC is focusing on energy sectors, energy storage, battery and supercapacitor. Now I am going to talk about supercapacitor, little bit battery, but supercapacitor mainly as per this talk. Energy efficiency and for example magnetic refrigerator and turbines and coatings, energy conversion, fuel cells. Fuel cells is another technology, you know, that producing hydrogens and it's one of the energy conversion technology. The electric hybrid vehicle, that is today talk. Solar energy, concentrated solar thermal power, photovoltaic. If anybody interested, please see the website. More details about this TRC projects available. So now I am talking about some of the institutes only. They are highly funded and they are only focusing on the technology transfer. What is the major problem in India? The institute industry interactions is completely, it's not option, but very less percentage. More or less 95% is only doing the academic oriented. There is no interaction that much. So now recently it's coming forwarded to the institute is interact with the industry to develop the technology. So actually this is called a technology readiness level. I don't know in the audience, I think more or less now reached 200. But I don't know how many students they know about this word technology readiness level, because we know we are working technology work every day. We are talking about RD. It's called a TR level. But I don't know how many students they know technology readiness level. You know, you are going to surprise when I am telling this. Technology readiness level is created by NASA in US in early 1970. So even 1970, this word is discovered and they are used in this prototype, because technology readiness level to identify the maturity of the technology where your level is. That's why there's numbering 1 to 9 numbering. I will explain one by one. So the technology readiness level is really 1970s is discovered, but in Europe 2000 they started. Even after several years, in India maybe maximum we used very for example ISRO or DRDO labs, for example RCA only used last 10 years. But I don't know how many institutions are really following this readiness, technology readiness level, and the awareness. I really don't. That's the reason I want to present the slides for the young generation. The gap in manufacturing innovation. What is that? See, you can see the most of the government universities. Government means government colleges, government entities, for example, labs or universities, mainly focusing on the TRL level 1 to 3. What is the TRL level 1 to 3? It is the basic research. We are developing some materials. We are characterizing the materials. We are certain level. We are extent. For example, I am taking a milligram scale. Then I am going for in 1 gram or 2 gram maximum 10 gram. That is, it is below TR level 3. What we are doing at RCA, after this discover the very innovative material, we need to scale up. So we are scaling up into the large quantity in kilo level, in kg level. Then, for example, several kgs, a few kgs to several kgs depends on the material application, material perspectives. So it's 4, 5, 6. It's a demonstration, real development, large scale up, and prototype demonstration level. That is a 4, 5, 6, 7 is covered. You see that here, most of the government IITs, private colleges, and government colleges, universities, they are focusing on 1 to maximum 4 level, because the investment also limited. If you see the another private sectors, the TRL level 6 to 9, for example, this industry is focusing on, because industry having a lot of investment, they are making the products, demonstration, real-time application, but most of the technology they are buying from outside, maximum China or other countries, that the industry is developing. But what is our own indigenous technology in India? How many companies are really using our indigenous technology in Indian technology to manufacturing such kind of products, including EVs in all the sectors? So this is a really huge gap between 4 to 5 to, so this gap should be filled. Then only, that's why the motivation of the talk is really so many laboratories working in lab scale, they need to contact the industries, or they need to contact like RCA kind of things, DRDO labs, or need to make the large scale. From the large scale, they need to shift it to contact the industry. Then industry also should participate in this some projects. And so, for example, you write the proposal, the industry partners should be there. Then only there is a responsibility of the industry. They are promoting the research and they develop the technology. That's why just from the talk, I want to really highlight at this because this is the really options knowledge in Indian students. So then we are going for EV sector. Generally, people are talking about EV. For example, I am chemist. I am only talking about the batteries, but not only battery. Because battery, we are developing materials. We are making batteries. But not only the battery is not only one component for the EVs. EVs having, you see, several components are involved in the EMS, particularly BMS. So battery management system. So I am the chemist. How I can develop the battery management system or capacity management system is impossible. So we need to have the collaboration with some companies or some expertise. For example, IITs, I will explain next time. So many slides, they having the expertise in the electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, and physicists, chemists, everything joined together. Then only you can make the electrical vehicle success in India. So everything have the indigenous development in India. Only the battery is only major component, but it's not only one component to run the EV. So in this case, if you see the electrical vehicle component market, the China is the number one. You see, fortunately, unfortunately, India has so many components, so many technologies. Cell phone cover to cell phone, you are fixing the scratch card to we are buying from China. That is a pity in India. Nobody come forward to develop this kind of technology in India. This is very big, very questionable. You can see that how many billions dollars is involved in that. The market players, you can see that so many components are out. Now, see, China is that market hub. We are buying everything from China. Not only this, we are buying this also, COVID-19. So now, Corona is the another factor. We are getting Corona from China. So not only product. So this is the reality in India. We are we are getting Corona from China. I am not criticizing any country but this is the real situation in India. So we should, as a scientist, as a citizen of India, we should really think on this direction. You see, India is really 23 IITs, Indian Institute of Technology is there, 31 National Institute of Technology is there. Because I am particularly focused this is a technology word is there. So we need to make the technology. So the people graduated is very highly knowledgeable, and the professors teaching they are very highly knowledgeable. But still we are having less technology. Some of the IITs really doing very good job. They are making the spin-off company, startup companies, and they are initiating activities. But that is not enough. You see, 23 plus 31, how much is it? Almost 54 institution only. I'm talking about Indian Institute of Science, because the Indian Institute of Science, I'm talking about technology. So here, before if you one technology created by one institute, India is really, as per the Abdul Kalam said, we can get the Valarasu, the powerful nation. So you can see that one side is academic, very good academic sectors are there. One side is very good industries are there. But why not both the industry and academics should join together to create the startups and initiate the startups? Then we develop the product. That product can be used in indigenous technology in India. Then our nation is developed. So that's the reason. Just I want to highlight strongly for the young students who are graduated in electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, chemists, physicists. So you can think yourself, because generally the people going for the 4 people going for the they're going cinemas, for example. Why? Maybe in the hostel they are saying mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, production engineer. Why not they join together to start up the new companies for the? So then it's not easy, but why not initiate everything? Initiation if you taken, that only implementation is coming. So that's from this talk I am really motivating the students to participate in this kind of activities. So now I am coming to the real talk actually. So this is just for motivation for the youngsters and what are the scenarios, and just I want to explain this. And if you see the electrical storage, yes, as I said, there is a lot of components are involved in electrical vehicles, but we are talking about only the batteries because that is a part of the electrical vehicles. So one side is lithium-ion batteries, another side is supercapacitor. Anyway, lithium-ion battery, supercapacitor, there is a lot of application is there, but now we are talking about mobility, for example, electrical vehicles. So just a little bit for students, I introduce the basics. What is the lithium-ion and supercapacitor? You can see the lithium-ion is very powerful, man. It's having the more high power, energy is there, not power, it's energy is there. But if you see the supercapacitor, very small toy, but it's having more power because it can run very fast compared than this bulky toy. If you see the battery, it's having more energy but less power. But ultra capacitor, supercapacitor, so-called, it's having the high power but less energy. We see the value in this right hand side. The capacitor is generally we can call it watt hour per kilogram energy storage. It is a 10 around 10 watt hour per kilogram. Watt hour per kilogram energy storage. But here Tesla battery almost 230 watt hour per kilogram. Now it is increased to around 300 to 400 watt hour per kilogram, depends on the chemistry. But you see the difference between the energy storage in battery and supercapacitor. This is the right hand side is so-called Ragon plot. You can see the supercapacitor in between the traditional capacitors and the batteries. So it will provide the huge power, but energy is less. So generally, if the students level, and I am focusing on this, supercapacitor generally is a 100-meter race. So the one person can have more power in very short duration. So they release the energy in very short duration. That's called power. So they can reach the goal very short and very fast. But a marathon race is like battery. So it's having a huge of energy. The energy released in unit time in long time. So that's why the race is long, and the people they are going to win. Who's having the more energy, they are going to win. So this is the just comparison of the supercapacitor and battery for the students level or the beginners in this field. See, I'm not going to talk about the lithium-ion capacitor or batteries, because here already our associate director is, I think some of the people maybe attend the talk given by Dr. Tata Narsingh Rao, associate director from RCI. They explained very well what is the scenario, all the batteries, how we are manufacturing the batteries, how we are manufacturing the material, what is the upcoming project, everything he discussed very nicely. So just this topic is mainly focused on supercapacitor. So just briefly, we are having the facilities, we are large quantity, we are prepared, and we are making the electrodes, and there are two centers, yes, Chennai centers, as well as there is one center in IIT Type Park. There is a technology park. There is another ARC is there. So two centers both combined together to develop this lithium-ion batteries. Actually, now because somebody asked why we need to do the supercapacitor. So supercapacitor, as I said, I am this next generation energy storage device. So it is the alternative or additional energy storage device for batteries. It's never replaced the lithium-ion battery, because lithium-ion batteries is a very huge energy storage capacity. But what is the problem? As I said, indigenous development is the national development. But if you see this graph in the world map, most of the lithium, because lithium ion battery is made up of lithium ions. So lithium raw material. So you can see in world map, lithium sources in India, there is no lithium source in India. So we don't have any raw material. We need to also depend on whether China or this side is North America or South America. So we need to get even the Australia or some other places. But there is no lithium mine. This is a pity. We are developing lithium, but anyway, in coming, I am sure 5 to 10 years, lithium-ion battery-based electric vehicles only implemented in India, because that only is a viable solution. Because Tesla is mainly focusing on in US also lithium-ion battery only. So this is viable, but ARCA, even SICRI, and several centers, they are really putting effort to develop the materials, but we don't have raw material. That is a problem. Anyway, I am not going in depth, but here raw material is one the problem, because India, we don't have raw material. Another thing, they need to lot of research to investigate. And suppose we are buying the raw material and we made the battery, how to recycle of the batteries, then we can get the raw material. That also we need to do for the safety side. So that's the reason now there is needed, because there is a problem in lithium-ion batteries. So there is alternative. For example, lithium-ion batteries also, this is a high energy density and it's already a well established technology people are using. But parallelly, people are using sodium and potassium ion battery. Sodium and potassium ion batteries is really abundant in India. So people are focusing, with a lot of chemistry problems are there, but technology, it will take long time. So that's the reason we are coming for the next generation energy storage device, is supercapacitor. Supercapacitor is made up of two electrodes. It's made up of carbon. So carbon, if you consider carbon, anything you burn, it became a carbon. So carbon is abundant material in India. There is no problem for the carbon source in India, but there is some issues are there. I will explain later on. This just I have explained a little bit mechanism of that. You can see the activated carbon is coated on any metallic current collectors. Then if you divide by the separators, because the separators will be the ionically conductive, electrically insulator. Then if you apply the potential, then the electrolytes having the electrolyte dissolved in the aqueous electrolytes, or sometimes it's organic solvent used is called non-aqueous electrolytes. Depends on the voltage window. The aqueous and non-aqueous is classified. So if the aqueous electrolyte, the voltage window 1, suppose 1 volt, if you apply the potential in aqueous electrolyte ions, the positive ions, negative ions, the positive ions will go to the negative, because the polarity negative plate. Then negative ions go to the positive plate. So this is the ion separation. Then it's forming the EDLC, it's electrical double layer capacity. Then ion storage, because of the ion storage, electricity production. So this is a charging and discharging. This is a very simple mechanism. There is no chemical reaction. That is the reason supercapacitors is a very interesting concept, because supercapacitor we can go for 1 million cycles, nothing but 10 lakh cycle you can charge, discharge. And another thing, maintenance free. You can go for 10 to 15 years. Supercapacitor can be stable. But there is some other drawbacks there. I come to the next slides. But generally, the lifetimes is very long, durability is very long, and the power density, power is providing the power is the one of the best device in the world. It's giving enormous power in fraction of seconds. So wherever the power is requirement, we can use this kind of supercapacitor device. I will explain some of the application slides. So it's a very simple concept. As I said, the two electrodes are separated by the separator. So the electrodes are electrically conductive, separators are ionically conductive, so electrically insulated. So the ions can penetrate to the both separators and isolated. Then it's coming to the positive negative port, create the Helmholtz layers. That's called electrical double layer. So you can see these are the mechanism involved. Then capacitance directly proportional surface area and separation distance, charge separation distance, atomic scale level. So capacitance is generally units of farads per gram. So Q is charged by voltage. The Q is directly proportional to how many charge is accumulated in the surface. That is the capacitance of the capacitor. So E equal to of CV square. As I said, the voltage is very important factors here. The voltage is determined by the electrolyte. Whether if you use the aqueous electrolyte, the voltage window is up to 0 to 1 volt. If you use the non-aqueous neutral electrolyte, the voltage window is 0 to 1.8 volt. Suppose if you use the non-aqueous electrolyte, the voltage window is increased up to 0 to 3.5. Suppose ionic liquids, even though voltage window is increased up to 4.5. But what is the problem if you increase aqueous to ionic liquid? The conductivity, ionic conductivity is also decreased. So there is a negotiation. We need to use which is the best electrolyte we need to use for our prototypes. So working mechanism, this is available in the internet. You can see there is some people are doing the simulations when applying the potential, how ions are separated and stored in this positive negative electrode. It is very nicely explained in the YouTube. Some of the students, they can go on the mechanism of the supercapacitor. You can see the keyword. They can get the very good info. So every year, because of the more attractive and fascinated field, so many publication is rising now. Several, even 2018 to 2020, we can see so many papers every day is coming. Thousands papers every day published in all over the world. So generally, the carbon is a lot of papers applying carbon. We see that so many carbons are available. So many modifications are we did. So lot of papers are coming carbon because carbon is abundant, very cheap. That's why people are using. The other side, all the metal oxides, other composites or other materials, electrode materials also prepared. You can see that the nano energy review articles, they are explaining all the state of the arts. See, now the material design, as a scientist, material design is very important. That's why particularly indigenous material design is in India. That is the major aspects. If you design the material your own way, in using the Indian raw materials, definitely we can provide very cheap cost for the Indian nation. That is the material engineers should focus. We are focusing, we are working, and we are also get some good success results. You see any material, if you see the performance, cost, durability, generally the lab, most of the people, as I said, in India, for example, R&D labs, for example, colleges, most people are mainly focusing on lot of material synthesis, but they are not thinking about cost. Generally, for the publication aspect, they need the performance, durability. Only you can see out of 100 papers, 99% paper is focused on whether performance or durability. This material is better than that material is better than this material, like that. So this is a paper point of view. But industry people, if you talk about industry people, we developed a very nice material. It's giving very good performance, very good durability. They will ask, what is your cost? Then everything is gone. So from starting onwards, we just think about the cost, which is the favorable cost. Suppose if you material to device, what is the cost? Material itself, what is the cost? Whether this material is really competitive cost to the commercially available material. So these are some strategies the researchers senior researchers at least, because junior researchers just enter in the research, they are not possible. At least senior researchers, senior scientists, they need to consider the cost is one of the major obstacles to make the commercialization. So that's the reason you see here specific capacitance. This lot of plenty of paper, thousands of papers are reported. Carbon, polymer, metal oxide, lithium oxide. For example, lithium oxide is highly expensive, but it's giving high performance. So high performance, high durability, but cost is expensive. If it come down, carbon, right hand to left hand side, carbon is a very cheap material, but performance less, durability is good, but cost is less. So people are coming for even the performance less. They will convince, okay, cost is less, durability is good. They will take the carbon material. So that's the scenario is there. So as I said, the supercapacitor having problem is energy density. So we need to, in order to increase the energy density, a lot of plenty of efforts, including us, we are developing so many parameters modifications to increase the C, because E equal to energy density equal to half CD square. C is the capacitance, V is the voltage. So when you increase the C and V, particularly V, if you increase the V, which means voltage, then your square is a double time of the voltage increase, or your energy density is boomed several order of magnitudes. So that's the thing. You see, the cost is almost everything. So here, if you see the individual factors, material development, and if you see the device, what is the device cost? Is a material is a major portion. It's around 40% of the cost is coming from materials. So in the 40% of the cost, electrode cost, packing, electrolyte, separator, everything accumulate together. But generally, in the supercapacitor, the electrode cost is expensive compared to other cost. So if you see the carbon, I am telling you, the carbon, even the carbon having a lot of carbons. So what are the best carbons? The coal tar, then petroleum coke and coconut cells, nanostructures, graphene, coke, so many things are there. But in this case, if you see the y-axis and x-axis, specific capacitance is one thing. Another thing is, as I said, the cost. So dollar per kg, how much dollar per? So generally, if you see the commercial standard, coconut cell is the best because Maxwell is using. They are selling the very cheapest cost in the world, competitive cost compared to other things. But still, if you compare them the other technology, lithium and battery, the device cost is expensive. So there's a lot of parameters. This is Maxwell is really developing the one of the major company of supercapacitor developers in the world. It is US company. They are buying the carbons from Japanese. It's called Kuraray. They are having the two different type of carbon developed by Kuraray, but they are mainly focusing on energy and power. So different applications, they are buying the carbon. It's called YP50 and YP80. One is the energy, one is the power. So they are achieving different modifications of properties. Then finally they are achieving the target. Then you see as I said, in the equation you can see the capacitance directly from surface area. But the surface area also is limited, because if you increase the surface area certain limitation, your capacitance is falling down, because when you increase the high surface area, your pore size distribution is very narrow down. Then there is a problem for the ion accumulation in the pore. Then your capacitance will coming down. That's a gravimetric capacitance. There is an optimum level. So 1500 to 1700 spirometer per gram is a very good optimum number, and pore volume should be 0.6 to 0.7. Or pore dia is the bimodal pore size. One is the microporous and the mesoporous. These are the all the information available in the literature. But you see the most of the people looking for the optimum high surface area, optimum pore volume, optimum pore size, and according to the pore size should be matched with our electrolytic sign. Then only you can see that you can get the very good capacitance. So how we can optimum this carbon pores? The different techniques available. For example, chemical activation and physical activation. There is a lot of physical activation, chemical activation process available in order to make the porous material for using this. You can see this all the papers are really explaining what pore size can fit with ionic size. Because, for example, tetraethyl ammonium plus absorption, and this is tetraethyl ammonium tetrafluoroborate with acetonitrile in dissolved acetonitrile is a organic electrolyte commercially used. So you have tetraethyl ammonium having particular ionic size. The BF4 means tetrafluoroborate ion, anion and cation having different ion size. So we need to tune our pore size according to the ionic size. Then only we can get the more absorption of ion. Then we can get the high capacitance. So that is we call the pore size engineering or tailoring the carbon. Tailoring means the word is tailoring. How the tailor can stitch according to the person size. Like that, we need to make the material accordingly tuned. This is tailoring the pores according to our needs. Electrolytes. So I am just telling simply, So this is a very simple mechanism, carbon-carbon based. When you put the electrolyte and applying the voltage, it will go for separation. But you can see that this is really complication. This is for most of the literature, for example, academic work, people are trying, so very easy, they prepare the carbons and studying. But if you go for the device level, so many parameters very important. For example, specific capacitance in the device level, operating voltage in the device level, usable energy and usable power density in the device level is not easy. So there is a lot of complication structures involved, the resistance, internal resistance, and the electrolyte resistance, that the carbon resistance, force resistance, so many things are there when you are going for the device level. So that is not that much easy. So now I am talking about the indigenous material. Then what is the indigenous material design? So as you said, these are the material commercially available. Then what is the indigenous design in India? So that's the reason what last 3 years my students and our groups, they are working in development of the cotton, because I am coming from Coimbatore area. I visited a lot of factories for the textile factories. There is a way, because India, you see, India is the second largest producer of cottons than China. You see, China is the first number one, second is India. But we are using lot of clothes, that clothes are going to be waste. So that is the waste cotton is the problem to the disposal. And also I am asking in the industry people, so many dumped materials, or they are after the cuttings or whatever the garments, they are dumping in the cottons in their grounds. They are not using. So that's why I collected that material. What is the reason is because the cotton is based off cellulose. It's a carbon and hydrocarbon. When burning the material, we can get only pure carbon fiber. That's the reason we are selecting these materials, because of this is economic, raw material easily available in India. That's the reason we are collecting this material, and we are analyzing the performance of the electrochemistry. You can see that this is the company located in my hometown Tiruchengodu, the Johnson Clothing Industries. So you can see that I already visited these companies. From these companies, I got very nice cotton waste cloth. Then we are converting into the useful materials. Another thing, we are also collaborating with the Eco Green Clean Tech. These are already, there is a activated carbon manufacturers in Tuticorin. We purchased the activated carbon. Then we are fruitfully we are applying our ideas to modify the carbon according to the commercial application. You can see the same, even the powder cotton, the cloth cotton, we can easily convert to carbon. You can see the SEM images. After the carbonization, the structure is not collapsed. This is very interesting material after activation also. But the mechanical strength is not good, but we can make the electrodes in lab level and some prototype level. That's the reason we did, and you can see we made in large scale quantities, and we published these articles in Carbon, Journal of Carbon. It's one of journal. You can see the waste cotton, carbon fibers, then energy storage, we are electrochemistry we did. Then we make the devices also. So the electrochemical workstation is very important. Generally, we established in this as a TRC projects. We are a device to device level to kind cell level, lab level to, we can prototype level, we can check, and we are doing that. Then example, this is just one I want to show electrochemical performance. We are getting very good performance comparable to the benchmark studies on the commercial standards. We are 20 to 30% higher than the performance we got the commercial standards. Then this is the performance. This is all the electrochemical actor, carbon ACS, sustainable chemistry. All the papers are already published. This works. As I said, electrochemistry, this is supercapacitor is really long cyclability. So we can go for several lakh cycles. So that's why you can see the charge discharge we did in the laboratory level, high cyclability. As I said, electrolyte is very important. If you see the tetraethylamine it's organic electrolyte, it will go for 2.7 to 3 volt. So we can get the very nice CD and CV curves. The tetraethylamine means this ideal behavior of the EDLC capacitor. So we can compare this with the commercial standard, and we are getting far better than the commercial standards. Then we are really in the lab level, we are really demo a lot of devices in order to, not only we are checking electrochemistry, we are also demo some of the materials in pouch cell level and point cell level and Fritzlock cell level. We are testing the performance, small devices we made in prototypes in lab level, and we are demo. You can see the material too. As I said, we are not developing only few grams, we are really developing in several grams and even some kgs. Then we are making the roll-to-roll electrode, and also a lot of toys demonstration we did. This is fast video. So here actually one of the entrepreneurs, he is in Pune. They developed the solar charging. This is very interesting because when we are charging in plug points, we need to consume electricity from our normal plug point. If we use the solar, the renewable energy, we can use our solar, right? Because it's free of cost solar. We can use the solar panel. We can charge our capacitor. But the LS Motron, this is capacitor from Korea. So he is importing the capacitor from why? Because we don't in India, we don't have any indigenous development of supercapacitor in India. That's why he purchased the from Korea. Then he made the device individually. This is a small startup company in Pune. So you can see that's the reason. If Indian people, Indian companies, we develop our own indigenous product, the people ready to use. So that is the main core we need to consider and we need to work. So for that, actually, because of the idea, then immediately what I commercially I purchased the solar lantern. Then I give to my students. Generally, we did a lot of more interesting experiments in the laboratory. We are charging and discharging profiles, and these papers are really attractive. It is appear in the cover pages in Global Challenges in Wiley journals. Then you see the not only the India, you see the Korea. South Korea, there is, as I said, the LS Motron and the Maxwell supercapacitor all over the world. There is one of the developers. In South Korea, the solar panels, they are using the supercapacitor in the poles, the street lights. So this is completely renewable. So solar panels getting the energy from sunlight, then the charging the supercapacitor. So supercapacitor and solar panel, the lifetime is almost 10 years to 15 years. 10 years to 15 years. It's come around 10 years is sure. So 10 years, there is no maintenance cost. So this is completely renewable. That's the reason you see this is already implemented in South Korea, the street lights. So actually, in order to demo our own indigenous material, we already demo for children's car. This is my daughter's and they are enjoying the cars actually. So for this is some small idea we are getting. Okay, why not our material can be used in our small this kind of prototypes, because this cars is available in market in all the you can see all the children's car available in the now the supermarket and complexes. They are using only lead acid battery. So lead acid battery generally it will take the charge 4 to 5 hours. Then it will use for maybe charging hours is 12 hours, but discharging only 4 to 5 hours. Only one charge we can use 4 to 5 hours. For example, maybe 1 hour per children means 1 to 4 to 5 children only they can run the car. For example, if you implement supercapacitor, it's because of the energy density is less, you can charge fraction of seconds or fraction of minutes, but 30 to 45 minutes one children can run. But if you charge like fraction of second, then you can number of children continuously run these vehicles, but n number of times because there is no life cycle. But here, if you see the 600 cycles lead acid battery, you need to throw the battery. So that is also solid waste. Anyway, batteries are recycled in certain extent, but generally we need to throw and we need to buy the new battery. But supercapacitor lifetime is extended. We can use this technology in India. This is one of the examples, but this can be applicable in different toys. That is the motivation here. So I will show some videos. How laboratory level we make this our own prototype and we tested this car in RCI. It's really running. But anyway, we need to go very far to make the several cells in economic and as well as the volumetric manner. So this is just for the demo of our material can possible to do this kind of demonstration. That is why we are working on that. This is just for the students. I am going this presentation, this demo. So we are talking about material design and what is the prototype designs and demonstration. As I said, because if you concentrating technology, materials only not the final target. We need to go for the design the prototypes, then demonstration in the real application. That is another sector. For example, the best example is Maxwell. You see, they are getting the coconut cells. As I said, YP50 from they are getting the coconut cell activated carbon from Japan. Ferrari. From that, they are making the processing. Then after the making the electrode, I will show you the next slide. They are making the device. So this is very simple coconut to usable energy storage device. They already made. This is Maxwell is the #1 company, Maxwell supercapacitor in the world. So generally, if you make the material to device, there is a pilot plan involved for the manufacturing of the supercapacitor. You can see the raw material. Then we need to prepare the slurry, then coating. Then we need to cut the seeds, for example, according to the device size. Then we need a superposition. What is superposition? As I said, one positive electrode separated by the separator, then negative electrode. Then it's a roll-to-roll winding. This is called jelly roll. After jelly roll, we need to inject electrolytes. Then format means the formulation of the cells. Then finally, we make the cells and integrate the cells and we make the device. So these are the lot of steps involved. So that's the reason in the TRC project and some other projects, HPCL project, generally we are established this very nice, fruitful infrastructures. We created it in RCA. We can see the lot of machineries all purchased from China and other countries. Then we are really making these large scale fabrication units, and we are end up with the final Maxwell capacitors that is almost equal to our capacitors, equal to the Maxwell. That is indigenous development in its upcoming years it will come. So this is already also a parallelly we are working last 3 years before. We purchased the Maxwell in order to understand what is the Maxwell capacitors and what are the charging characteristics and integration. So from the ARC facilities, we led laser. It's a very nice ARC facilities in laser facilities in RCA. We are welding this every cells. 18 cells are connected in the bus bars, aluminum bus bar. Then we need to weld, and we are developing with the help of Kulikal. Is the Coimbatore-based company. They are working. BMS development. This is called CMS, Capacity Management Development. You see, the Bharati Shankar is one of the postdoctoral researchers. We worked with these projects, and we finally we succeed. And this is the capacitor. This capacitor-based bicycle is first introduced in the ministers, and Dr. Satish Sethi from DRDO also is there. Then we are really, this team is involved, and we produce we demonstrate the bicycles. This is the first supercapacitor bicycle. I will show the video. First supercapacitor bicycles in India. You can see that without pedal, the one can drive the cycles. Then this is one of the applications. Then I am coming to we can make the device. What are the current supercapacitor application is really different sectors, the transportation, renewable energy, and industrial and electronics. But now we are focusing on the transportation for electrical mobility. And you can see the already supercapacitor, this Maxwell supercapacitor, already 2 million start and startup vehicle worldwide, over 10 million ultra supercapacitors already sold, and for the transportation sectors. So Maxwell is producing low end, for example, 1 farads to 3,400 farads. That is, we are seeing in the cycle, we are putting 3,000 farads. This is this model, this one single cell. Then we are making 18 cells model. Then in order to make the 48 volt, that is a motor voltage, running voltage. So from the 48 volt model, we are assembled ourselves in RCA. But you can see here in center, already 48 volt model is available in the commercially. But generally, what we did, we purchased this Maxwell capacitor and assembled. Then we are learning how to assemble, welding and integration, the CMS development, everything. This is a very good practice for last 3 years we did. You can see this individual cell, as I said, the capacitor is giving very cost of power. You can see into watt level, even the watt is single when kg level, 7.7 watt-hour per kilogram. But if we give the model level in kilowatt, but if you see all the models integrated level, it's a megawatt. So it's a huge power can delivered by these devices in different levels of the integration. So the supercapacitor, see commercial application, there is lot of applications. The toy, as I said, we already demo the cars. Maybe one of the presentation you see, seen that all the small buses, children's car, lights, solar lantern, everything we already demo. But this is the commercially available supercapacitor toys and torch lights and other electronics is commercially available by using the supercapacitor. So if you see the Indian growth rate, if you see that, generally this is just one survey telling India is expected to reach $2,000 million by 2020. It's a very huge rate. So actually see the annual growth rate 16%. It's a really good numbers. But mostly India we are focusing on consumer electronic segments only. But generally we are working the electrical vehicles. But I think the Indian company, this is SPEL, is really working to develop the supercapacitor units in India. It is Pune-based company. You can see the out of 11 supercapacitor manufacturers in the world, the SPEL is one of the company. It is highlighted by the businesswire.com. You can see the website. This is a world market about supercapacitor. So the Swell is one of the Indian, the first supercapacitor manufacturing company in India. We are we collaborated and we are working with this company. So as I said, the supercapacitor is a different application. This is a very startup. I said 2 million, more than 10 million pieces are sold for this kind of application. Because generally, when you start your engine, then the engine taking high power needed. That generally the car battery we are using. Suppose when we are charging the car battery, the lifetime is very less, so it's spoiled. We need to change the car battery frequently. So in this case, you put the supercapacitor. Yes, while the startup only start cranking. Then it will burst off the energy is provided to the car. So this lifetime 10 years. So we can use this is very interesting application. The Airbus in the that flight in A380, the emergency door opening people are using, and also some of the data recovery also supercapacitor is using because of the very high burst of energy in fraction of seconds, even nanoseconds. Unimaginable it will give the power in nanoseconds. So also elevators. It's in the grid. Generally, the elevator is operated by normal a generator or electrical. Suppose there is a power shutdown, then the rescues people can stuck and in between. So they need to rescue power. Supercapacitor can provide a very fraction of seconds energy. Then we can rescue the people. And this because of the motion. Another very important characteristic of supercapacitor, you can regenerate energy. They can easily. You can give the supercapacitor. Supercapacitor can charge by regenerative. But because of the very heavy lift motion, the mechanical energy is converted to electrical energy. We can store the electrical energy inside the capacitor. So that's the advantage of that. Another the supercapacitor power forklift is there. So forklift also is already available in the market. This person is demonstrating supercapacitor based powered forklift. So it's very interesting things. So apart from this one, because the audience are the mixed categories, I'm the pump and solenoid activities for drug delivery for wherever sometimes we need to evaporate in particular places the drug, so they need energy. So supercapacitor put the energy, then heat up the devices, and they release the drugs in particular medical application. The air aids, for example, some other people they problem in the listening, and they are having this kind of air aided. This also connected in our motion, then immediately it will charge. So it is not necessary to replace your batteries. That's the one of the advantage. You see the already 10 farad to 50 farad low end application. The Nokia and this one Sony Ericsson already implemented a small SIP of the supercapacitor inside. If you see the night photograph, it's a dark image. But if you put the supercapacitor inside, if you see the before and after supercapacitor, even you take the photograph in night time, it will the flash is rapidly to flash, and we can get the very dark, very bright images. So that is one. The another important application is bus transportation. Just we are working electrical vehicles application. Our target is we need to make such kind of application in India. So that's why we are really making we need to make the models. Already we have the models. When we are already we are trying to all the characterizations, data collections, and all our research group we are doing in order to implement this in the electrical vehicles application. You see, Shanghai already 150 buses already released supercapacitor based buses. These supercapacitor modules are kept inside several models inside the bottom of the buses. They can charge. I will show you. This is the charging mechanism. I will show the video. Then the students can easily understand how the fraction of seconds the supercapacitor can charge the buses, and the bus is moving to the other station. So generally, as I said, supercapacitor having not a very high energy, so it will charge very fraction of second. The passenger get in, get out. They will charge it. Then it will move to 10 kilometers. Then again it will charge, again it go for 10 kilometers. So this city buses is useful, and also the institutional campuses, hospitals, and this kind of very short distance traveled supercapacitor can use because supercapacitor having maintenance free equipment, pollution free. So because of this advantage, we are working in supercapacitor. See, recently 2019, Lamborghini, I think all of the students know those are the very interested in sports. It's a sports car released by Lamborghini. collaborate with the MIT. They are developing first world supercapacitor fast car. So where is the applicable supercapacitor? Because supercapacitor, I said, when you're starting the engine, it's giving the enormous power to the engine to start the engines and to pull the engine to the, because sports car needed this one. So then it energy efficiency. So when the presence of supercapacitor, you can increase to 10 to 20% speed than without supercapacitor. That is one advantage. Another advantage, supercapacitor is regenerative braking. Whenever the sports car very heavy brake we are applying, that kinetic energy generally lost. So that mechanical and kinetic energy they are converted to electrical energy. The supercapacitor can store. That is the advantage, and they are already proved. It is already implemented in commercial. It is a USA, MIT, and jointly developed this part. Then I am talking about hybrid system, because I said supercapacitor having the problem because its energy density is less, power density is more. Battery energy is more, power is less. So we need energy management. So if you coupled both battery and supercapacitor, what happens? So we can get simultaneously power and energy. So that's the reason ARCA, we already purchased the auto from E-Ride. It's a Hyderabad-based company. Then we are modified according to our ration. Then we are really integrating lead acid battery with supercapacitor. Then the group is working. I am always talking about supercapacitor, lot of advantages, but there is a lot of disadvantages of supercapacitor. The cost is a big barrier. That's why we need to concentrate. When you're reducing the cost, we should develop our indigenous prototype, indigenous material, indigenous technology in India. Then we can the cost will come down rapidly. That is the major focus. Then energy density, a lot of modification of energy density. For example, lithium ion capacitor is coming in the picture. I'm not talking about lithium ion capacitor, but we are also working lithium ion capacitor. That is energy density is order of magnitude higher than it's in between lithium ion batteries and supercapacitor. That is we can enhance the energy density. Another problem is self discharge. For example, supercapacitor, because of there is no electrical, there is no chemical reaction. It's a electrostatic attraction of the charge. So when you after charging supercapacitor in some time, it will charge will decrease without using your supercapacitor. That's a problem. Anyway, there is a lot of additives they are adding and to maintain the supercapacitor in the charge state. That is also, these are some challenges in supercapacitor developers is there. So finally, I would like to acknowledge our team. This is our complete team headed by Dr. Narsingh Rao, our associate director, and our team leader Dr. R. Vijay, and all the other scientists, seniors, and Dr. Anandan is there. He's one of the senior scientists. Nanaji is working in this project, and he's also a scientist. And Dr. Pavan is one of the scientists. And Ms. Nirmala and Mr. Balaji Rao, Kalyan also there. So these are our team. We are working together to develop this. But I would like to thank our students, because the students are really working in the lab. They are working. They are producing the results. Then only we can present this kind of very nice presentation. So I would like to thank all my students, and you can, some of you interested, you can see our papers. It's published. You can put Manikarthik and RCA. Then you can get our articles. The students can read and get info. The last but not least, now I am coming to the end. But what Dr. Abdul Kalam said, end is not the end. In fact, end is effort never dies. So this message I am going to give the young students. The success is depending on your effort. So you need to put effort continuously. Then only you are going to get the success. Then every product developed, indigenous product developed in India is good for nation, the nation development. So all the best. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was really an informative webinar for all the participants. We have received a couple of questions during the webinar. So
Yeah, please.
we shall start the question answer session, sir.
Yeah.
Let me take up the questions one by one. The first question is from Vishal Baloria. His question is, are electric vehicles equally efficient in hilly terrain areas, especially North India?
Good question. Okay, that's a problem, because now, for example, terrain area or any for example over bridges, when our vehicles is going the over bridges depends on the slope. That's the reason we are integrating supercapacitor. For example, lead acid battery, it's already going like 20 to 30 kilometers per hour only, because lead acid battery current and power limitation is there. If you go to the terrain area, your speed will reduce and your battery get abused. So you need to frequently research. So if you coupled last slides, what I said, that lead acid battery supercapacitor integration system, wherever the supercapacitor take care of the power to pull the vehicle in the terrain area. But this is challenging. We are working on.
Yes. Yes. Now let us take the next question, sir.
Yeah.
The question is, in what way the cost of EV can be reduced to increase the buying capacity of the consumer?
Good question. That's why the overall talk is, what way? Of course, we need to develop our indigenous development in India. There is no way. So every researcher should participate actively to develop our indigenous development in India, as well as the government should help in projects or subsidies or any way, industry collaboration. Then only we can develop our own indigenous development. Then we can reduce obviously we can reduce the cost, right?
Yes. Next question from Mr. Muralidharan. His question is, sir, even though the lithium-ion battery used in EV has a very good efficiency, its disposal after complete drainage was proved to be challenging. Is there an alternate battery material that has the same efficiency and power output as a lithium-ion battery?
Yeah, that's a good question. But anyway, lithium is having different chemistry, LTO, LFP, NMC. There is a lot of chemistries there. So power and energy depends on how the battery manufactures. For example, NMC chemistry, that Tesla using. But depends on wherever we need energy and power. Generally, people are choosing the chemistry, for example. But lithium, as I said, apart from India, lithium no problem. For example, already Elon Musk already purchased, he brought the lithium mine itself because he is the richest person. He already buy money. But India is not. We are not having any sources. So one thing, if you buy, for example, lithium-ion batteries from outside, that's not a problem. We can, several tons we can buy. But after the life period, we need to recycle the lithium. That is another researcher, they need to focus, recycle lithium, then that lithium can useful to, for example, the prototype fabrication or industry they can use. That is one advantage. Another question, this is, yeah, it's possible for sodium and potassium battery is possible. But what is the problem? There's the energy density is low. That is another thing. And the chemistry is not, because of the lot of the SE layer formation, and the chemistry is not well understood in the sodium and potassium. In the commercial stage, we are still R&D level. Some of the people telling the sodium and potassium is maybe future battery. And generally, in order to avoid this, the hybrid management system, for example, lead acid battery or another, or lithium-ion batteries for fuel cell. This hybrid management is one of the economic way in upcoming years.
Yes. Next question, sir. It is from Dr. S. Karthikeyan. Question is, sir, could you please summarize what are the research opportunities and entrepreneurial opportunities available with the supercapacitor technology?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. So many people are contacting me also, that's, they're interested in this one. But entrepreneurship is different this way, that NRDC also, they're helping, and a lot of the, in the government of India, they're micro, like, that small government organizations are available. They can fund it for the startup companies. They can start, and they can push the technology.
Next question, sir, is from Mr. Pratap, Sharan Pratap, who is a final year mechanical engineering student. Question is, frequently acetonitrile is used as electrolyte solution in supercapacitors, but due to high discharge rate from the supercapacitor compared to a battery, invisible emission produces human effects to human respiratory system. Is there any alternative and eco-friendly electrolyte solutions, sir, that we can implement?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, unfortunately, we are talking about green solutions, but only acetonitrile is the well proven, because of there is a lot of that is another chemistry involved, because the solubility and electrical conductivity, the ionic conductivity, ionic mobility, and solvations. So these are the involved in the ionic absorption on the surface, right? So in this case, acetonitrile and propylene carbonate people are vice versa using, but acetonitrile only the commercial electrolyte they are using, because there is a lot of some other properties are available. So generally, the commercial standard, for example, acetonitrile and propylene carbonates also people are using. But this is unavoidable. Yeah, I understand it is flammable and so on. But if you go for aqueous-based electrolyte, people are trying aqueous-based electrolyte. Even so many companies are available in aqueous-based electrolyte. But what is the problem is aqueous-based electrolyte voltage window is limited. So we can go for up to 1 volt. Suppose if you go for 1.23, the water get decomposed, then it will produce a hydrogen oxygen. So this is not useful for our electrochemistry. So that is the limitation. But if anybody, like that's why it is open to audience. Anyone can discover indigenous electrolyte in India, then we can use this electrolyte for the, for the user friendly.
Yes. Next question, sir. It is from Mr. Atul. His question is, if the government can help and support strongly the transformation of Bharat Stage 6 vehicle, why do you think the government is not giving its full support in transformation to electric vehicle? After all, setting up charging station will not be expensive as setting up fuel station.
I'm not, government is, I'm not telling government is supporting, government is having a lot of initiation. But you see the people mentality and generally the people when using the more electrical vehicle consumers, then the industry can produce more vehicles. Then the charging station is a very big issue. If we have if I am having a car, I will every day I think where I need to charge. Suppose if my office to here, I can charge and I will happy, I will go and come. But problem is roadways. Roadways also problem. Because when you are going, as I said, even though 4 to 5 kilometers, if you have any roadways, is maybe some terrain area or some damaged road, electric vehicle smooth surface only as per the specification will run. Suppose if any damaged road, the car will stuck on somewhere, your battery is drained very rapidly. So that's some issues are there.
Okay. Next question, sir. It is from Mr. Nityanandam. His question is it possible to implement EV for ambulance? If yes, what would be the maximum speed achieved?
Yeah, it's a very good question. But ambulance is for the emergency service. Suppose if you put the electrical vehicle, suppose it's anything problem in battery stuck on that, then we should not play with people. But I think it's possible. It's possible. Anyway, this ambulance EV depends on conditions.
Yes. Next question, sir. It is again from Mr. Muralidharan. If you try to build an electric vehicle, which one would be more economical, a lithium-ion battery or supercapacitor?
Sorry?
If you try to build an electric vehicle,
okay,
which one would be more economical? Is it lithium-ion based or supercapacitor based?
Of course, lithium-ion based. There is no doubt about it now because lithium-ion based people are purchasing and we are comparing because supercapacitor is premature. That's why the title itself indicate next generation energy storage device. So still there's a lot of work we need to involve and commercialization. That's why I tell indigenous development because we are not affordable to buy the supercapacitor from Maxwell because it's having one Maxwell capacitor is around all the taxes if you put all together, it's covering 7,000 rupees. So 7,000 rupees is highly expensive. If you see by the model, for example, if you put into even our electrical car or electrical bicycle, sorry, it's having a 1.2, 1.3 lakhs. So now we is not affordable buying the outer. If you develop some, that's why Spell and ARC we are developing some technology, some we are transferred to the industry. That industry can affordable and make the product in very cheaper cost. Of course, it's possible.
Next question, sir. It is from Mr. Jaffa. What is the cost of material contribution to the overall device cost? If it is less than 20%, then is it really useful to work on material technology?
It is 40% actually. The material cost is 40% of the overall device cost. Of course, we can work very cheapest material is one of the economic way to produce the device.
Yes. Next question. It is from Mr. Kamachi Hariharan. Like battery management system is available for traction batteries, is there any separate management system available for supercapacitors?
Yes, it's called like BMS, we call CMS, capacity management system. But that's why we, as I said, no, somebody, electrical engineer, we need to work on that. Anyway, we are working some of the companies. We are developing the CMS, the capacity management system. Anyway, this function is different because yes, BMS is giving, as I said, the energy is more, but power is releasing. So the component of that whatever the current and the voltage is mainly current is limitation of the device in the BMS. But CMS not like that because I said CMS can be, capacity management system, capacitor can charge very fraction of seconds in high current. So your device to withstand, you need to build your device according to that.
Yes. Next question, sir. It is from Mr. Mohan Kumar. Is there any integrated solar PV supercapacitor technology available in discharging maximum power density worldwide?
Yeah, that is, so I said no that solar street lamp. It is the PV panel based and charging supercapacitor and complete overnight. It's delivering that one, and also yeah that mini small prototype, for example, solar based lantern available by supercapacitor. So it's integration because supercapacitor can easily charge by solar because solar. What is the problem?
Will supercapacitor still be viable when we have access to lithium?
Yeah, lithium is how long? Suppose India largest population, how much lithium is there? I want so for example, in tons. That mine is giving the tons of the lithium. So all the lithiums are not useful first. Lithium is having some of the purities, some of the specification. That lithium only can be used in this to make the devices. That's one question. And another thing, always the supercapacitor. That's why I'm telling from the beginning of the talk. Supercapacitor is not a replace the lithium ion batteries. It's the alternative energy storage. It will support the wherever the suppose lithium is not providing in high power application. So if we hybrid system, wherever the high power supercapacitor can provide in very short time, then lithium having a high energy, then go for the long time.
Yes. Next question. It is from RP, Dr. PH Borsay. Question is, how the hydrogen-based technology and battery or supercapacitor is comparable with respect to economy, safety, and future?
Yeah. Anyway, if the safety feature, yeah, all the technology, if you consider safety feature is the questionable. How we are using anyway, we should follow always the, even our IC engine car also, we are using petrol and this one, sometimes accident happening. So safety is the, how you are using and how you are handling. That is first thing. Second, the hydrogen economy, that is the hydrogen economy because hydrogen is the one of the very good fuel in future fuel, people tell future fuel, but the safety issue and also the hydrogen also problem is the charging station and this technology, we can store the hydrogen technology. We have a very high energy density, but problem is implementation in the cost wise, that is the premature also in Indian level. If you compare the lithium ion battery supercapacitor also same level. So it's like, you know, the compensation which technology based on which technology is the, we are not able to justify now at present scenario which is the best and worst. But the hybrid system, for example, some of the application is stationary application is a hydrogen fuel is one of the best application. For mobility, it's not possible to implement the hydrogen fuels in the mobility sectors. So these are the so many things are there, you know.
Yes. Yes. Next question, sir. It is from Dr. S. Karthikeyan. Does supercapacitor needs a heat management system? What temperature is developed during operation?
Yeah. Anyway, supercapacitor is actually it's already proved like minus 40 degree to 65, 70 degree. So this temperature already there because of this temperature is fixed by the electrolyte we are using because electrolyte is flammable. If you go for the above high temperature, electrolyte get flammable, then your cell is damaged. But this within this range, every nation, every country, India also is not going to above 45, 50. But when we are integrating the system, the thermal management is important parameters because generally now they are using the active or passive cooling system. They are using the fan to cool the this one. But generally thermal management is very important. Then people are working on that in order to maintain the temperature of the in the device.
Next question, sir. It is from Mr. Suresh Subramanian.
Yes.
Is it possible to use supercapacitor in MTC buses in heavy traffic areas like Chennai? Since at times it takes a lot of time from station to station.
That's why I told no. I'm not telling now. It's already implemented in China. It's already in Europe, several countries, Belarus, so many European countries. Supercapacitor was implemented. But anyway, we should not compare the Western countries like because traffic zones and they are very proper roadways and all. supercapacitor technology in India is very far for the roadways application, but this is very fine. But they say that the institutional campuses, hospitals, the point-to-point services without any traffic is possible.
Next question, sir. What type of electrode is used in supercapacitor? Carbon or metal oxides?
There is anyway. I'm not in depth. I went, but anyway, answering the question. The supercapacitors are classified into the different sectors. One is the symmetric capacitor. It's carbon based chemistry. We are using carbon. That's why we are explaining that. The another capacitor is called pseudo capacitor. That's where metal oxide based materials are used. For example, manganese oxide, ruthenium oxides, and all. That their problem is there is a pseudo capacitance involved, so the charge transfer technique. So life cycle of the capacitor is less compared to the carbon based capacitor.
Yes. Next question, sir. It is from Mr. Sengol Ryan. What are the raw materials used for supercapacitor?
What are the raw materials? The carbon. And the carbon only is not using because 80-90% of the activated carbon, porous carbon, and remaining is because we need to coat the carbon into the binder. So there is a 10% in the, some depends on the composition, 80-10-10, for example, 80% carbon, 10% is the active carbon, the conductor additives, and 10% is the binder. Then we mix to make the slurry and they can coat on the carbon current, aluminum current collector.
Next question, sir. It is from Mr. Geno Regis. What is the maximum speed we can attain by supercapacitor in motorcycle?
Maximum speed we attain the motorcycle depends on the energy density of the supercapacitor, which model we are using. For example, 48 volt, 70 whatever, if you see, that is 25 to 30.
We are having another 3 more questions, sir. May I know the efficiency percentage as well as cost effectiveness between normal vehicle and electric vehicle?
Efficiency is we are not generally not comparing that much detail and the efficiency of this and that, but mainly the electrical vehicles is coming to the picture is the pollution control. Of course, IC engine is good, but basically IC engine is the efficiency is higher. Of course, there is no doubt about it. But generally here, electrical vehicles come to the picture only to reduce the and mitigate the pollution. Never. That's the reason we are coming to the shifting the electrical vehicles.
Next question, sir. Is it possible to make hybrid of battery and supercapacitor in a single vehicle to overcome the disadvantages of both individually?
Yeah, it's possible. That's why we are auto also we did same. So many people are now. That's why supercapacitor alone, efficiency wise, performance wise, not implemented. That's why one of the question is heavy traffic area, how we can. So anyway, every device having the own advantage and disadvantage. So according to the needs, according to the application, we need to use. For example, Dr. Borse also asked hydrogen fuels economy. That is a very good technology, but safety wise and who's going to the charging station of this one implemented in the real vehicle, that is a very big question.
Next question, sir. It is from Mr. Umesh. Lithium extraction is a highly polluting one and highly temperature dependent for Indian climate scenario. How do you make sure that it is safe to use? It is safe to use aspect consideration.
Anyway, safe to use is I accept this question, but what is the problem? We don't have raw material, but we are using lithium-ion batteries to implement the levy. Then what is the solution? We don't have raw material. We need to always accept from others. Suppose at least any economic way, and also it should not affect the environment. Then we need to develop the technology to extract the lithium. That is not easy, but anyway, there is no option.
Next question, sir, is from Mr. Ashwin. Sir, any mesoporous metal oxides developed for supercapacitor application?
Yeah. Some people are working on mesoporous material. That's the thing. But what is the problem? Yes, I said supercapacitor is based on the surface area. Mesoporous material, you are not enhancing surface area in certain level. Maybe you can achieve maybe 1000 square meter per gram. But there is some limitation is there. Even the very big pore size sometimes is not advantage for supercapacitor absorbs ion. So there is the pores and the ionic size electrolyte usage. There is a strong correlation. So the people should design the material according to the what electrolyte they are used. So it's not like mesoporous. That's why the combination of some percentages of people are already reported. We are also identified there is some combination of the micro and mesoporous. It will give the not only very good capacitance as well as it will provide a very fast rate capability, fast ion storage. That's rate capability.
Thank you, sir. Almost we have covered all the questions posted by the participants.
Sorry, Dinagar, sorry to interrupt. One question came to me.
Oh, okay, sir.
So I'll moderate the question. It's from Mr. Yogesh. The question is, sir, will the government support and fund if we are working on supercapacitors?
Oh, then I think the people they can contact the NRDC.
Sir, can you throw some light on NRDC, sir? Because many places you have quoted it.
Yeah, even I am not much more details. I need to talk to the.
No, what is NRDC also, and what are their policies?
Yeah, NRDC is a National Development Research Center. Anyway, they are really encouraging the entrepreneurs, and some of the funding they are giving according to the evaluation of the proposal. If they give a very good proposal, definitely NRDC will help. That person is very nice guy. I think he will give some lights on that. Because I am not much experienced in NRDC. I am also getting some information from them.
So through the NRDC websites, they can get.
Yeah, they can. Of course, NRDC is open to all. The government entity, so they can get the information. Also, they can mail it to them, and they will reply definitely.
Even I too attended Dr. Purushothaman's lecture 2 days.
Yeah, there is a lot of policies. They're giving loans. As far as I understand, they're giving after the proposal evaluation, they're giving some feed money for the startup companies, entrepreneurs. So they need to evaluate the proposal. If we really identify the very good proposal, definitely they will give some good initiatives.
I think even they support people to get the patent also.
Yeah, they will support that. He said no, something, there is a policy is there, who is having the patent rights, and they will give some royalty rights or some initiative rights, and they will give some money and support in that.
Sir, one personal question as a faculty of engineering student.
Yeah.
If engineering, especially a UG student, want to work on this supercapacitor.
Okay.
At what level they have to start, sir? If they want to work on, especially for their undergraduate level projects.
Yeah.
Undergraduate level
what
projects.
Their background?
I'm talking about the undergraduate students.
No. What the discipline?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering, okay. Yeah, as I said, see, electrical vehicles not only battery development. I am the chemist. I can only design the material. Some extent I can make the device. But how I can make the integration of the device? Electrical engineers. Mechanical engineer. Suppose we need the electrical motors or some mechanical parts of the car. There is a lot of, for example, charging station, and there is a lot of components involved in the electric vehicle. So they need to identify which the expertise is particularly suitable for that. They can focus on that. They can develop, because every part of the research joined together make the technology. It's not only, suppose I am making supercapacitor. Okay, I should not happy, because supercapacitor should integrate all. There we need the CMS, BMS development. That integration, electrical engineer is involved. The mechanical engineer is what BLDC motors, how the motor controller, what are the DC-DC converter, bidirectional converter, inverters. Electrical engineers should involve. Then the charging, fast charging, what type of cables we need to use. So that under mechanical, all the spare parts and all electrical engineers, mechanical engineer involved. So, that they need to identify particular area where they can focus their knowledge and they can develop.
Sir, one delicate question with your permission, I put it forward. Sir, do you take any students for internships at ARCA?
Yeah. Internship generally, if please, all the students encouraging to see our ARCA website. There are generally summer internship the people providing every 2 months or 3 months. They will do 1 or 2 months. They will come. So many students are that with me also worked. And also apart from that, we are giving GTP and PGTP, the graduate training program and postgraduate training program. They will with their they can check all the information in the website. They will also giving some money to that GTP and PGTP.
Thank you, sir.
Then the PhD scholars. Please see the HR department, the notification of the PhD. There is the entrance and there is interview. Then people can join in PhD also. If you are a very good candidate, RCA is always welcome to people, very brilliant minds, and have the very good knowledge. People come and work near say itself.
Thank you, sir. Dinakar, over to you.
Yes, sir. There is one last question to be asked, sir. A
Okay.
participant has posted a question. He is Mr. Chetan. Question is, what about the use of paper battery, considering the advantages and efficiency?
Sorry, I couldn't understand. What is that?
What about the use of paper battery, considering the advantages and efficiency?
Paper battery. Yeah, okay. Paper battery is good actually, but anyway, that volumetric energy density is very less. Depends on the where they can apply the flexible. I'm not talking about this supercapacitor. Now I'm talking about the device level. There is supercapacitor. There is lot of available flexible supercapacitor is there, and wearable supercapacitor is there. So wherever the application very miniature kind of things, paper batteries is good.
What are the energy and power density needed to activate the supercapacitor in base maker type of capacitor?
Generally, they are using 1 farad to 5 farads are in this range, very small, because it's like in the coins level, very small things.
Yes, sir. We have almost covered all the questions posted by the participants, sir. So it was a wonderful and very informative presentation from your end, sir. So on behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Vodafone campus, I thank our speaker, Dr. Manikarthik, for accepting our invitation to deliver a webinar on topic Design and Fabrication of Supercapacitor as the next generation energy storage device for electric vehicles. I thank all the participants for joining us for the webinar. I thank our Dean ENT and HOD Mechanical Engineering for extending support to organize this webinar. I once again thank every one of you.